We've finally made it out the other side of not quite E3 week for another year. And just when it looked like we were about to get on top of our backlog, in comes Xbox with a whole host of amazing games that will all be coming one day to PC Game Pass very, very soon. There's so many, in fact, we don't have any time to waste on this intro. Let's jump straight into it. These are just 10 fantastic looking games from the Xbox 2024 showcase. First things first, it's time to grab your shotgun and get on your demon-slaying armour because Doom Guy is back in Doom The Dark Ages. This prequel to id Software's rebooted take on the beloved shooter that started it all is taking us back in time to the medieval ages for some classic monster blasting chaos. The showcase gave us a sneak peek at some brutal combat, eerie gothic environments, and, of course, those terrifying demon bosses we love to hate. Oh, and there was also the jet-fueled cybernetic dragon. Yeah, this looks crazy. Bethesda treated us to a look at Starfield Shattered Space, an expansion that Bethesda was already working on before Starfield even launched. So they've had plenty of time to stuff even more content into this already massive RPG. Shattered Space promises to take Starfield's iconic exploration to a whole new level, and it looks set to be a proper beefy expansion to match the likes of Oblivion's fan favourite Shivering Isles expansion. We don't know much, other than that the main thrust of its epic quest revolves around the mysterious House Varun. But we get a feeling that this story will be leaning into the darker side of Starfield's lore, as we saw plenty of spooky environments and floating corpses. At least the ominous voiceover was accompanied by some gorgeous visuals. Things took a turn for the cereal when we got our first look at South of Midnight, an original new IP from We Happy Few developers Compulsion Games. South of Midnight's Spider-Verse-inspired art style is oozing with charm, and its southern gothic world is filled with some truly bizarre creatures, like this gigantic wisecracking catfish.
I'll pick you up yonder after to go find your mom.
We only had the briefest of glances at South by Midnight at last year's showcase, but this time we actually got a proper look at its gameplay in action, showing protagonist Hazel's combat and traversal abilities. Oh, and we met Two-Toed Tom, the gigantic albino alligator who it looks like we'll be going toe-to-toe with next year when it releases. He looks like a friendly fellow, right? And now something for you flight enthusiasts. Get ready for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. As if a jaw-droppingly beautiful recreation of the entire planet Earth wasn't enough, the sequel to the award-winning flight sim now includes dynamic weather, more detailed aircraft models, and even rescue missions. This entry focuses on giving players the opportunity to pursue the piloting career they've always dreamed of. Aerial firefighting, search and rescue, commercial flights, remote cargo ops, air racing. Basically, if you can imagine any activity that involves a plane, you can probably do it. The skies have never looked so inviting. Whips and hats at the ready, everybody. It felt like only yesterday that we finally saw Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for the first time, and it's already nearly here. The trailer from the showcase assured us that Machine Games' take on everybody's favourite archaeologist will perfectly channel everything that we love about the original movies and then some.
Choo-choo! Choo-choo! Ha-ha!
We saw plenty of puzzle solving, treasure hunting and good old-fashioned whip-cracking action in some gorgeously detailed environments, from ancient ruins to the freezing Himalayas. And in case we weren't already convinced, we also heard Troy Baker doing Indy's iconic voice break.
Fresh air!
And if you want the quick reactions to match Indiana Jones himself, why not add the G502X Plus to your gaming setup? With its revolutionary hero sensor, you can be as precise and as deadly as old Indy is with his trusty whip. And if 2024 wasn't looking packed enough, in come Obsidian to offer a true hold my beer moment as they showed off more of their upcoming RPG. Avowed is shaping up to be yet another classic from Obsidian, as this new trailer showed off some truly awesome spellcasting and epic battles, and not to mention a whole library's worth of deep lore to get stuck into. The world of Eora looks set to be one of Obsidian's most immersive worlds yet, with stunning landscapes, deep dungeons, and, as always, violently brilliant combat. Avowed really has it all. Metal Gear fans, rejoice! Metal Gear Solid Delta is bringing back the classic Snake Eater experience but with a fresh coat of paint thanks to the power of Unreal Engine 5. David Hayter's iconic voice brought us straight back into the world of Naked Snake as if 2004 was only yesterday, and the remastered graphics look phenomenal, capturing every detail of the dense jungle. We saw glimpses of some improved stealth systems, but this remake looks as though it'll be sticking pretty closely to the beloved gameplay mechanics that made the original game an instant classic 20 years ago. Now excuse us while we go and listen to that theme song over and over and over again.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Speaking of blasts from the past, our beloved Joanna Dark finally made her long-awaited return for the first time since 2005. And it was an especially welcome appearance, since we haven't really heard anything about Perfect Dark since its initial reveal way back in 2020. Can you imagine our excitement then, when we finally saw gameplay of the Initiative's reboot in this year's showcase? And it was amazing. The gameplay showed off intense action, slick sci-fi gadgets, and even some Mirror's Edge style parkour. Perfect Dark is set in a near-future Earth where a series of natural disasters have disrupted natural ecosystems. But that won't stop every corner of the game's Cairo setting looking absolutely gorgeous. It almost makes us want to stop all the acrobatics and just slow down and take it all in.
I hope you're ready, Agent Dark.
Microsoft went for the full hat-trick by bringing back a third beloved franchise back from the dead with Playground Games' reboot of Fable. It's been far too long since we got to explore the wonderful, whimsical world of Albion, so it was an absolute treat when the voice of Super Hans himself introduced us to the retired hero Humphrey, assuring us that the series hasn't lost that uniquely British sense of humour that made us fall in love with the franchise all those years ago.
Who better to tell you all about them than perhaps the greatest hero of them all? Yeah? There he is, in all his finery.
We've got to wait until 2025 before we can get started on this twisted fairy tale adventure. But to tide us over until then, this trailer showed off the unbelievably gorgeous open world, gave us a taste of the fantastically brutal combat encounters, and even promised us that there'll be a disgustingly huge toad who may or may not be friendly. Yikes. That's enough of sequels and reboots and adaptations. Let's finish off with a totally original IP from Sniper Elite developers Rebellion. Rolling British countryside and little pubs in a cosy little village, everything looked perfectly normal at the start of this intriguing trailer. But it soon became clear that something was a little off, like gigantic robot patrolling the cosy little village off. This is Atomfall, and we may be getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but this is the title we're probably most curious about on this list. Inspired by the real-life wind-scale nuclear disaster, which makes for a fascinating Wikipedia read by the way, Atomfall is set in a small northern England town which finds itself at the centre of the quarantine zone. Its haunting trailer gives serious Wolfenstein meets Fallout vibes, and honestly, we're here for it. That's a lot of games, and that's before we even mention Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Gears of War E-Day, State of Decay, Dragon Age, Life is Strange, Stalker 2, and the list goes on. It's impossible to talk about everything in just one video, but these were just a few of our favourites. What reveal excited you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and click that subscribe button to never miss another update from us here at Logitech G.
Cheers.